Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at the Loki Motor Company in sunny Clearwater, Florida, because guess what? We have it. This is the 2019 BMW i8, and as you can see, the Roadster. So let's talk a little bit about the i8 history. i8 history is not a very long history, so this is going to be on the shorter side of things. It was first seen as a concept car all the way back in 2009. It also appeared in a Mission Impossible movie where Tom Cruise drove it, part of a scene, and that really got people excited about it. They saw it, they saw the concept car, they saw it in the movie, they're like, wow, this thing looks nuts. Now, they didn't start producing the actual road-going version until 2013, and the car was produced from 2013 to 2017. Guess what? There wasn't an i8 at all in 2018, but the good news is, by taking a year off, they brought out the Roadster. What's fascinating about this car is when you look at it, it looks like a supercar, like your standard supercar, McLaren, Ferrari, Lamborghini. This, though, is, believe it or not, a hybrid electric plug-in. Now, BMW just calls it an EV, but this does have an internal combustion engine and AC electric motor power to give you that combined overall rating of performance. What's interesting, though, is that the looks may not fit your idea of what a supercar really is when it comes to performance numbers, but we'll get to that in a second. But let's go ahead, dive into the all-new for 2019 i8 Roadster. First of all, this signature color, this copper color, fits it to a T. I love the low sloping fender line, roof line, all the way to the front. You have these full LED headlights with daytime running lamps. Look at just how far apart it's stretched. This thing is low and wide. You come down, you get a little bit of gloss black that picks up on the corner, spills down into the lower front fascia section. We come across, and there it is, the iconic grille. Now, that kidney shaped has really been pushed to the limits because of the width of this car, but you can see that these are actually functional. You have your radiator located behind this, little bit of gloss black, some flat silver, and then there's that iconic BMW logo, Bavarian Motor Works. If you're wondering though, why the blue? That's the tie-in, because this is a hybrid plug-in vehicle with that internal combustion engine. Now, if you're wondering, well, is the engine underneath here? No. This is a mid-engine car, so the engine is in between the front axle and the rear axle, but the bad news is there's no frunk. So you only have one storage space and one storage space only on this vehicle. Now, as we drop down, very, very large, aggressive front splitter or front lip spoiler, whatever terminology you want to use. It's all semantics. This is going to help give downforce, and it's going to help scoop air into that front-facing radiator. But from one side to the other, very, very unique styling. Now, you would have thought, because of the crazy styling, that this kind of would get old very fast. I think that this is going to be a very timeless design, because even though it's 6 years later, it still looks fresh as new and very, very attractive. Up on the hood area, I would call it a frunk, but there's no storage. You do have this design element in the center portion. I like the way they brought the gloss black all the way down in this nice U shape. Really helps tie in the components from front to on top and then down the side. Now, as we come around the side here, what you're gonna notice is a BMW i8 specific wheel. That's a 20-inch wheel, like the machined aluminum here, gloss black. The sad news is that it has fairly small calipers. Now, back in 2013, maybe those calipers, were a little bit larger, but now they've kind of shrunk. This should have 6-piston caliper brakes. I'm gonna zonk it for that, but I do like the blue, the BMW logo. Obviously, you have your iconic BMW logo right there over the center cap, and those rotors are actually pretty meaty. If that was a dinner plate, you'd get full really fast if you filled up the surface area of that rotor, but they're cross-drilled, fully ventilated. There's no carbon ceramic brake package for this car, because at the end of the day, you'll see when it comes to overall performance, it definitely shows a little bit better than how it actually performs. But I'm zonking the caliper. Other than that, looks good with the copper. Now, when we go into that fender, you can see the nice hard edge here on the fender line, and then there's a body line that actually picks up ever so slightly and goes right into the A-pillar. One of my favorite parts about these convertibles, Roadsters, is I like it when they gloss black the whole windshield frame. I think it just gives it a better low slung perspective and really fits the car to a T. You have a triangular corner window, gloss black on the side mirrors with a very slim and trim LED turn signal. As we drop down, you can see very prominent belt line here. That really gives it a great look. This car looks like it's going 200 miles an hour just sitting here, even if it was rolling, it can't do 200 miles an hour. You have flat black down here, kind of comes up. One thing I want to showcase while we're talking about the outside is, I'm going to lift up the door, carbon fiber tub. So no metal frame, carbon fiber tub, just like on a McLaren. Even the doors here, carbon fiber. And one thing your eye could tell you just by touching this door, much easier to open and close than a McLaren. Very, very light. You just push it down and it locks right in. Now, as we continue back, they kind of etched out this area for you to push that release button to open up the door. This is your fuel door. Here is a crazy element that you thought would have been funky and kind of faded away, but it still looks good even in 2019. You have nice airflow. It's all carved in, has it like an extension there. Really wild design, the way that that's integrated. Fuel door, body line here picks up. Look at this. This is probably one of my favorite parts of this car, is the rear, where the air channels over these rear fenders. Now, this car is the type of car that when you buy it, the first couple days, you just put it out in the driveway, get out a lawn chair, open up a cold drink, and just stare at the body lines, because she's a sexy car. I like with the Roadster how they have a nice tonneau cover with this flat silver, the Roadster name. You got the two humps for passenger and driver. Your normal i8 the coupe has small little back seats. There's no back seats in this, but what you do have is a large engine cover coming off the tonneau cover. I do like the wire mesh. This is going to help vent that mid-engine, turbocharged mid-engine. You got the Roadster name on the back, gloss black, tying it in with the front. And then when we get to the rear, one of my favorite parts. Look at how they integrated the LED turn signal. Look at that airflow. I can look at that all day long. I mean, it's that sexy of a design. Even the extensions, like I'll come over here and show you the way that the rear fenders kind of extend off the bumper. Nice touch. Your BMW logo, i8 badging, very, very simple and clean rear diffuser area. But I'm telling you, from front to back, this thing is low, wide, and just looks amazing. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop this engine cover and see what is underneath there. All right, guys, like I mentioned earlier, I think one of the challenges for the i8, especially the Roadster, is that there isn't a frunk available up at the front of the car for more storage. But had to go through a process. There's a very long process to open up this hood, and I hope you're gonna appreciate us going through that. You literally have to take off these small panels behind the door and pull two separate wires, cables, one on that side, one on the other, to open it. So I'm gonna go ahead, we've already popped it. Now, you do need two people to do this. We're not gonna open it all the way because it's got a crazy hinge system, but I'm gonna lift up so that Tom could show you what's going on at the front end of the business there. You can see the radiator down low at the front of the BMW i8 Roadster. But other than that, there's no storage space or anything like that to be found. Now I'm gonna nicely close this down, and we're gonna go ahead and take a trip to the back area. Now, with a Roadster, just like on the Audi R8, one of the sad parts of life is that you can't see the engine. So what you can see is your one and only storage area. That's 2 cubic feet of trunk space, whether the top's up or down. But underneath that carpeted cover there, where the venting is, here's the surprise. It's a 1.5 liter turbocharged inline 3-cylinder. That's from the Mini lineup. What's giving you more power though is 2 electric motors for a combined 369 horsepower, 420 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated through a 2-speed automatic transmission. This thing will do 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, so it's not as fast as you thought it looked. Quarter mile, 12.7 seconds, and a top speed of 155 miles an hour. The great news about this plug-in though is that on EV mode, you have a range between 15 to 18 miles, and you could travel at 75 miles an hour. The Roadster is only 132 pounds heavier than the coupe. So you're looking roughly around 3,732 pounds over the coupe. But why don't we go ahead and check out the interior of this BMW i8. All right, guys, time to get inside this BMW i8 Roadster. Now, I know you're probably saying, Joe, this vehicle has a very unique design, very unique powertrain setup. How much is it? Loki has it marked at $130,000. Now, give Paulie a call because I'm telling you, they want to send this to a forever home. But if you're ready for unique styling, you're going to get it. Let's go to the door panels. Now, doors open, so Tom's going to have to do some extra work here to really showcase what's going on. You do have nice soft leather at the top of the door panel. I like the way the armrest has a nice tannish brown color to it. And there's a hint of carbon fiber on the door handle pulls. Very nice design, and like I said, they're super, super light. As we come to the dash, you got multi-level setup. Nice soft leather material, leather across the whole midsection. Here's your infotainment system. If you like the touch screens, you're gonna have to like hold a screen on your lap or something because you can't touch this. Well, you can touch it, but it doesn't do anything. Carbon fiber design, flat black, even very smart. I'm glad that they brought the AC vent here. You have two for the passenger over here. This is for the driver, and then you have another one for the driver. Slim BMW style radio controls. Then you drop down, you got your heated seats, but no ventilated seats. That's a zonk to me in a car that's marked at $130,000. But you do have the dual climate control and heated seats. This is gonna control that 2-speed automatic transmission, start stop button. You get your different drive modes. You also have that front-facing camera. So as you heard that Rady's Rides fan honk their horn, we can look out front and see who it is. That's real easy to use. You just hit the button, 1, 2, 3. Here's your BMW iDrive control. I like the way they got the i8 logo smoked in there. You got your buttons for your navigation, your menu, all that good stuff. You could go into menu and have your 3 screen setup, which is a nice touch. We could go to My Vehicle, get into there, and that's where you could go into different vehicle settings, auto e-drive control, all that. Remember, you have a range, like I said, you could travel over 70 miles an hour and anywhere up to 18 miles worth of range just on EV power. You have a little tiny cubby here for your USB plug-in. This is gonna raise and lower the roof, the convertible top, which I'll show you that when you get over to the business side. The rest is that carbon fiber design, 1 cup holder. So if people are bringing drinks in here, which if it's my i8, there's no way in heck you're bringing a drink in here. You got 1 cup holder, key fob. Now, very fascinating. It looks like other BMW key fobs, but like somebody sat on it or ran it over because it's a flatter design, but I like it. I mean, when it's in my pocket, it feels a lot more slim than obviously a thicker one. Nice leather. It's a little hard, but I don't think you're really gonna worry about that. You lift this up. I know I can't show you, but I promise there's a 12 volt because that's the proof. And then you do have a place for your phone. You could get about probably 1 Twinkie or a king-size Snickers in there. That's about the room you have. Seats, they're great. Leather, love the bolstering, just enough. Stitch work. The biggest zonk probably for this car that's gonna be for a lot of you is how high the sill is. When you get into this car, you literally drop into it. It reminds me of when I had my 1985 Corvette, which was a C4. The sills are so high, you kind of just drop into it, even more so than a McLaren. But why don't you get on over to the business side of things? I want to show you behind the wheel of this i8 Roadster. All right, guys, business side, my favorite time of the day when sitting behind a BMW i8 Roadster. You can see how high the sill is. It's almost like an armrest. So that just gives you an idea that you drop in. Once you drop in, you do have 2 memory settings for your seats, and you have all your electric controls nicely located on the bottom here. Steering wheel. I actually am digging the wheel. BMW does perfect with the thickness, but I like this trim. It makes it look like a steering wheel from, I would say like the 1950s or something like that on a BMW. Just really cool look to it. You have that large BMW logo, nice horn button, these flat black buttons and knobs which allow you to toggle through all sorts of information and whatnot. And then you have that full digital display, which on the left is your speedometer. On the right, you're gonna have your power level, your charging, all those features that you expect to see on this vehicle. And then you have these very large plastic paddles behind the wheel as well. But seating position is great. Getting to the modes, the comfort in here is wonderful. Let me go ahead and show you how the top works. So we're gonna go ahead, close the door. Look how easy that is. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna open up that small little compartment where the USB is, where you could probably put like 3 large size shelled Planters peanuts. That's how small it is. and then we're gonna lift up the top here. So tonneau cover raises. Here comes the cloth top. Lock it down. Windows go up. You get a chime and you're ready to rock and roll. But if you're ready, I'm ready. I wonder if it matters. Do I need to open up the window? No, obviously, because I'm wearing a mic. Why don't we go ahead and take this for a spin? All right, guys, we're rolling out of Loki Motor Company. We're in the BMW i8 Roadster. I have it in sport mode. I just have it in automatic shifting, and we are off and running here. You do have a wonderful heads-up display, and I'm telling you, you are sitting low to the ground. I really, even more so than a McLaren, to be honest with you, than the last time I was in a McLaren 600 LT. This thing is low, but one thing is for sure, you're gonna get stares as that guy who was just passing by in that Volkswagen just did. Now, when you have it in sport mode, it actually has artificial sound being pumped in to give you a little bit better driving experience. That's nothing new. Many cars have that now. I'm getting to the point where it doesn't bother me so much. My ears don't know the difference, and it really helps with the overall driving experience. What's crazy though, this thing rides so smooth. Very, very comfortable. We had the top up just so that you could hear us a little bit better, but I'm gonna put the top down eventually just to give you that open air experience that you expect in the Roadster. Now the seats feel really nice. I like the way that they hug my upper portion of my body. Lower portion, the bolstering's not so bad. So don't think that you're gonna be putting yourself into a vice grip and squeezing it down and locking it in. It's not like that. Armrests are on the harder side. So if you like a place to put your elbows that's nice and soft, it's not gonna be in this BMW i8 Roadster. Visibility, I'm telling you, visibility is a dream in here. Out that back glass, I thought because it was small, it'd be like looking through a peephole or being on a submarine and you gotta use one of the periscopes. No, it's very easy to see out of the back of. Side mirrors are great. I like looking out the side mirror because you can see that shape in the rear fender I was telling you about. You could just sit there and stare at it. Now don't stare at it while you're driving because you're probably gonna get yourself in an accident. That's not gonna be fun, but very smooth. Dash, once you put in sport, what color did it change if you're in sport? No, not pink. Red for sport. I like the gauge setup and everything. Very, very nicely done. Let's go ahead and get on throttle. On throttle. So you are getting this throaty little sound from the combined efforts of the electric motors and that 3-cylinder engine that's right behind us. It's interesting because it sort of sounds like a mixture of a really beefy lawnmower and an electric lawnmower combined. So it's fascinating. It's definitely, there's a word I'm gonna use, actually two, unique and different for sure. But overall, I'm telling you, the car isn't a rocket, but still 0 to 60, I'm sorry, if your car does 0 to 60 under 4.5 seconds, it's still pretty quick. Are you gonna win any drag races? No, but definitely you are gonna win who got the most looks in this BMW i8, because I'm telling you, it does just, whether you wanna look at it or not, it makes you look at it, especially in the copper color. But very smooth, very quiet. Even with a cloth top, I thought it was gonna be a lot noisier than it is, but it's not. It's actually fairly quiet in here. Let me go ahead and get on throttle again. I tell you, you're gonna get up to that top speed of 155 miles an hour very, very quickly. And remember that 155, that is regulated. It's, you know, it's governed. So that's just one of those things on this car. They limit it to 155. It's not about doing 200 miles an hour in this thing. But I love the tightness of the steering. Let's see how she does with braking. So we're on the binders, those 4 pistons. Nice, good feedback, nice and smooth. Very flat, of course. There's no body roll on this thing. It's very, very flat, very linear on the controls and the turn in. Let me get out from behind this big truck. Back on throttle. You can feel the instant torque of the electric motors. And then, like I said, with the turbocharged inline 3-cylinder, you're off and you're running. you're just not winning any races. And you know what? I'm okay with that. There's no trophies at the end of the day. Yeah, you could go home and tell all your friends, but okay, great. We're still driving in this BMW i8 Roadster, really nice. Let's go ahead and see how she handles in the Radies Rides racetrack here. So on the brakes, brake pedal feels good. Turn in, wow, look at this, nice and balanced. Nice and balanced, nice, look at this. Super smooth, I mean, she handles, and this isn't like a track day car. You're not gonna go to Sebring and turn the fastest lap, but you can still go out there and have a hell of a time, and it puts a smile on your face. And then at the end of the day, it just, I don't know, it's just a cool car to drive. It's just different, you know, it's just that different kind of experience, and I'm digging it. Especially for a price of $130,000. Are there cheaper cars out there? Sure. But I mean, you're in something that definitely is unique. That's for sure. Let's try this again here. On throttle a little bit. The electric motors. Turn in. Nice. Look at this. This is great. This is great. Rolling on throttle, rolling on throttle. Nice. And we're off. At the higher speeds, yes, the wind noise gets a little louder, but it's still nothing too crazy that's just gonna blow out your eardrums and whatnot. It's smooth, and the steering is nice and tight, just like the way I want it. It's got a pretty good feel. I wish there was just a little bit more feedback, just a little, just sprinkle on a little bit more. It'd be cool if they came out with an M-i8 or an i8M or something like that. I think that would be a lot of fun, but I'm gonna go ahead and shift with the paddles this time. On throttle, on the brakes, turn in, nice. Look at this, here we go. Drift it out a little bit. We're gonna come down and hit the apex. Shifting through the gears, using the paddles. Nice. When you shift, you get a nice little pop. I'm gonna say it's simulated pop, but hey, it still sounds like a nice pop coming out of the back. But give us a second. We're gonna go ahead and put the top down and see how that experience is. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, we have the top down. Sun is down on throttle. Here we go. Still fun. On the brakes, downshift, nice and smooth. You got that simulated sound going on here. Rolling in, here we go. Roll on throttle, and we're up. So obviously, with the top down, there's a lot more noise from the wind, but that's the experience. You buy this car for the top down, air, you know, the wind in your hair type of experience, and that's what you're getting. But it's a blast. When you're using the paddles, the heads-up display changes, shows a nice tachometer with colors. Your gear or simulated gear nice and large in the center there, which is great too. So I'm gonna slow down a little bit so we can try this little transition on throttle, on the brakes. Really nice. Look at this. Really, that was great. That was really great. It's a fun car. It's fun. Listen, this is what being a car guy or girl is all about. Just trying different cars. Each one has their own little problems, their own little issues, or they also have their good feelings too. And this one definitely hits the right spot for a lot of different reasons. But we're gonna go ahead, get back to Loki Motor Company, and I'll see you in a split second. What a wonderful day here on Radies Rides at Loki Motor Company with this BMW i8 Roadster. Definitely gotta thank Paulie and the rest of the crew here, so accommodating. Is it as fast as a Lamborghini? No. Can a McLaren blow its doors off? Yes. Looks wise though, it is still breathtaking and very, very unique powertrain setup. And if you're just looking for something different, that these Roadsters, I haven't really seen many on the road. I think that it could be that car for you where you have the looks and at a price point that, yes, is still out of my price budget, but it is within reach of some people. So if these are the types of cars that you like to see on Radies Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on the way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Ready's Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee. He loves having the top down. He wants to go cruise the beach, take in the sun, and all that fun stuff. I say, hey, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. But thank you, Tom, for all your hard work. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.